for the inauguration of the photography show titled Indian Deities Worshipped in Japan. This exhibition is a collaboration between National Gallery of Bengaluru and Japan Foundation, New Delhi. The photographs on display are taken by Mr. Benoy K. Behl, an independent photographer, filmmaker, and art historian, as part of the Japan Foundation Fellowship in spring 2015. On behalf of NGMA Bengaluru, I welcome all the dignitaries who have taken out time from their busy schedule on such a short notice and have graced this evening with their presence. We have with us here Mr. Yojiro Tanaka, Director of Japanese Studies and Intellectual Exchange, Japan Foundation, New Delhi. Dr. M.R. Srinivasan, former member Planning Commission, former Chairman Atomic Energy Commission, Government of India. We have Sri Mahendra D., member of the Advisory Committee, NGMA Bengaluru. Now I request the dignitaries to please come forward and light the lamp. Thank you so much. Bengaluru to please present bouquets to the dignitaries. Thank you so much, sir. I now request Mr. Yojiro Tanaka to please come here and share a few words about the exhibition, please.
Thank you very much, and good evening to everyone. My name is Yojiro Tanaka of the Japan Foundation, New Delhi. First of all, I'd like to convey my sincere thanks to the NGMA Bengaluru, to Dr. Satya Baham Batrinath, Director of the NGMA Bengaluru, Mr. Narayanan, Administrative Officer, and Mr. Sudhar Kao, Chairperson of the Advisory Committee, and all of the NGMA staff, and distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming to this inauguration of the exhibition, Indian Deities Worshipped in Japan. Photographs by Dr. Benoy Behl. This exhibition actually started from Delhi and went to Kolkata, Chennai, Hyderabad, and as the final destination came to Bangalore. And after this, it will go back to in Delhi. It is our pleasure that all of the cities we have received tremendous response from the people and also the media. And this actually shows how this topic of Indian deities being worshipped in Japan is very popular or very timely for Indian and Japan relationship. So people really want to know more about this link between the countries. And then maybe you can say that everyone in Japan, like everyone knows Japan, everyone knows India, but whether the Indian people know about Japan so much, whether Japanese people know so much about India is another question. Like people, if you ask the people what is the images of Japan, probably they would say it's the technology, it's cherry blossoms or samurais, or sometimes people might say animation. But people do not say about we share the same god and goddesses. And then actually it is true that in many places in Japan, still the Indian deities, Indian gods and goddesses are worshipped in our own style. And then even Japanese people do not know about this. And then Indian people also do not know about this. We know that somehow India and Japan are connected, but this connection was never been so clear. And thanks to Benoy Behl's pictures, now we can see clearly how we are spiritually connected. And also, this is only the beginning of our to clarify, to put the lights on our connection. We, Japan Foundation, hope that from this exhibition, more researches will take place to make it clear our connection between the connection between the countries. Well, anyway, I do not want to take so much time before the inauguration. So let me say one more time, thank you very much to everyone who came here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your words. Mr. Benoy K. Behl, the photographer of this exhibition, could not be present here with us this evening due to unavoidable circumstances. However, he has sent a short note for us, and I will kindly request Mr. Narayanan to please read it out for us.
Good evening to all of you. And this is a message which has been sent by Mr. Benoy Behl, and he wants that the NGMA to read this message to all the visitors who are here for this occasion. I am reading on behalf of him. Ladies and gentlemen, my many thanks to the National Gallery of Modern Art, Bengaluru, and to Mr. Sudhakar Rao, Chairman of the Advisory Committee, and all the advisory members for so kindly hosting this exhibition here. It was indeed a very short notice, and the NGMA rose to the occasion splendidly. Thanks very much. I have had the pleasure of knowing Mr. Sudhakar Rao and his wife, Mrs. Nirupama Rao, since 1994, when she was first posted to the Embassy of India in Washington, D.C., where my exhibition was held in the summer of that year. My gratitude is owed to Dr. Sharda Srinivasan for her warm interest in seeing this exhibition came here, and that too today. I am deeply grateful to Dr. M.R. Srinivasan for very kindly taking his time to inaugurate this exhibition, and to Mrs. Geeta Srinivasan for gracing this occasion. I had come to know them very well for more than 30 years when we were all in Mumbai, and it has been a very close and warm friendship ever since. Thank you to both of you. I am deeply grateful to Mr. Yojiro Tanaka and the Japan Foundation for having given me a fellowship to take further my research and documentation of the subject of the Hindu deities worshipped in Japan. I am also very grateful to the Japan Foundation for producing this exhibition and also showing them in Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Hyderabad, and now in Bengaluru. I am also grateful to the Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, for having sponsored the film, which is running on a constant loop at this exhibition. Most of all, I am grateful to 50 of the most important temples in Japan and their chief priest. It is owing to their unprecedented cooperation in this project, and this work was possible. As many of you may be well aware, photography and video shooting is normally not permitted in the important temples of Japan. the chief priest also do not normally speak to researchers or to media. I had written to 50 of the important temples, much to everyone's surprise. All the 50 very warmly opened their doors for me for this project. The result is that the floodgates of the mutual understanding and recognition of the deep similarities in the thinking of the people of our two countries have opened. I believe after this knowledge, there can be no going back. The people of both the countries are becoming aware. As a chief priest of Japanese temple said, we have the same heart. The same sentiments are expressed by a former ambassador of Japan in the film which is running in this exhibition. With such sentiments were also kindly expressed by His Excellency, the Consul General of Japan in Chennai at the opening of the exhibition there. A seeming miracle in the story of a man is the spread of ideas across formidable natural barriers of high mountains and vast seas. Ideas do not know political and national boundaries. The ready acceptance of ideas by the people of faraway lands underlines the sameness of human life and the human condition everywhere. Perhaps the greatest example of the travel of ideas is the vast spread of Buddhism and Hinduism in ancient times. What is important about these ideas is that this is an ethical vision of life. Today, if any country maintains this ethical vision of life, that is the dharma, courtesy, kindness, caring for each other, it is Japan. A few days spent in Kyoto or Nara are a wonderful experience. Every day you have a smile upon your face, many times because of the kindness and niceness of the people. My partner Sujata Chatterjee and I have decided that at least once in 2 years, we must take a visit to Japan to cleanse ourselves and to nurture the smiling nature within us. What is important for the world to recognize and to realize is that this is ethics which led to the enormous prosperity of India in ancient times and has led to similar prosperity of Japan in modern times. Discipline is a cultural value. We in India must look upon Japan to regain the sense of discipline and ethics for which India was once famous. In Japan and India, coming together, all of Asia will get a great boost. These are the values of culture which were once spread across Asia and have now been forgotten in the present day following a purely materialistic and so-called modern pursuits. In this, the entire world has much to gain from this coming together of India and Japan to give mutual strength and focus on the values of culture, ethics, selflessness and discipline. If I may say so, the most important value in human life for which India used to be famous and Japanese people display till today is humility. This leads to me remember my experience when I visited Japan for the first time 25 years ago. Western books and media have taught me that Japanese were very difficult to understand, but on going there, I found that they were just like us, only better if I may be allowed to say so. They had the same respect for elders, courtesy, warmth, humility, and so much more, which we used to admire in India in our own culture. I dedicate this exhibition to the mutual rediscovery of the deities within us by both the people of India and Japan. I dedicate this exhibition to coming together of the people of those two countries in mutual understanding and warmth. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for reading the note out to us. Now I invite Dr. M.R. Srinivasan to please come here and share a few words with us.
Narayanan, Shri Tanaka-san, of the Japan Foundation, New Delhi, Shri Mahendra, my wife Gita, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Benoy Behl, as he has mentioned in his talk, came to us as a young man who was looking for something to do in his life. His parents, whom we knew rather well, they were very disappointed that as a young man he was not very interested in his studies. He was very introvert and in a sense lost as to what he should do in life. Then one day he told his father, "I would like you to get me a good camera because I believe I have got some talent, or at least potential talent, in the field of photography, and please get me a camera and let me see what I can do with it." At that time he was just a beginner, and he came into contact with Geeta, who was then head of the Worldwide Fund for Nature in Bombay. And so she used to go on camps for educating children in different schools and citizens groups about conservation, wildlife, and things like that. And slowly, Benoy Behl started doing some photography work for them and produced a couple of films, including a film about Kailas and Mansarovar. Geeta had been there, and in those days, she had taken only photographs on a 35 millimeter still camera, and he put together the slides and got a nice background music made out, and we had a very good singer who sang some of the shlokas, and became a very popular film which was shown on the TV and so on. Then Benoy Behl said he had some new ideas with regard to low light photography, that is extremely low light photography using no flashlight. And he tried it out in the caves of Ajanta and Ellora, the Buddhist caves of Ajanta and Ellora. By then, the Archaeological Department of India had banned the flashlights and other big illuminating devices in these caves because the frescoes were already suffering degradation. And he managed to create some beautiful photographs using this technique. In due course of time, he took an interest in the study of Buddhist monasteries, largely in Ladakh, in Leh and other places, and then went on to Japan, China, Thailand, Cambodia, Sri Lanka, and so on. So to all the places where there was a link between India and that country through Buddhism. Now, my own links with Japan. I made a first visit to Japan way back in 1963 or 64, and then I made 3 more visits. I made a total of 4 visits, during which time, apart from going to Tokyo and other industrial places like Hitachi and the places where there are, Fukushima for that matter also I was there. I went to places like Kyoto, Nara, and even a monastery in the central part of Japan. It is called Aihaiji. I do not know if I am pronouncing it correctly or not. It's one of the most important monasteries in the central part of Japan. The interesting thing I noticed is that large monastery with a fairly large population of young students who are beginning to become Buddhist priests. The whole town is vegetarian. There are no restaurants of any kind there which serve anything other than vegetarian food. And of course in Japan, if you want vegetarian food, you go and ask somebody, give me Buddhist food, or you ask him for monk's food. You see, that's the way you talk about it. Of course, at other times I've also been to Hiroshima, where there was this atom bomb that had been dropped, and the scene of the devastation. But I had been told that there were links through idols shared between India and Japan, and people had told me that probably there were idols of Ganesha, of Kubera, and so on. Of course, reading today the little handout that Benoy has prepared, evidently, apart from Ganesha, there's also Lakshmi, Indra, Garuda, Vayu, and so on. So a whole lot of the Indian iconography that has been part of the Japanese tradition. So it's very nice to see that today we are about to witness a display of these deities which have linked India and Japan over a very long period of time. One point that Benoy makes in his transmittal is that many of us educated Indians, we began to see Japan through the Western eye because of the fact that after a long period of Mughal rule and Central Asian links, we had a long period of links with Britain, who restructured our educational pattern. And therefore, in a sense, we have seen Japan and even China through the British eye. And that's true. And in a sense, that has colored our vision of Japan. And I think it's only in recent times, of course, Rabindranath Tagore was one of the early people who went to Japan with an open eye and had great admiration for the Japanese culture, civilization, and their way of life. But now we are coming to get together on a more direct basis, and I think this kind of event is to be greatly welcomed. I congratulate the Japan Foundation and the museum here, the NGMA Museum, for organizing this exhibition, and I hope this will bring our two cultures, our two nations, our two peoples closer. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing these words with us. Now I would like to invite my colleague, Mr. Darshan, Assistant Curator at NGMA, to give vote of thanks.
Thank you, Vasvi. Our most valued guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a privilege and a great joy for me to extend a vote of thanks to all those who have contributed in one way or the other in bringing and putting up this exhibition here at National Gallery of Modern Art, Bengaluru. I, on behalf of National Gallery of Modern Art, Bengaluru, and on my own behalf, convey deep regards and heartily thanks to Dr. M.R. Srinivasan, former member, Planning Commission, former chairman, Atomic Energy Commission, Government of India, for gracing the inaugural ceremony. Thank you, sir. I thank Mr. Yojiro Tanaka, Director of Japanese Studies and Intellectual Exchange, Japan Foundation, New Delhi, for his esteemed presence for the evening. Thank you, sir. I also extend our gratitude to Mr. Mahendra D., Member Advisory Committee, NGMA Bengaluru, and Mr. T.A. Narayanan, Administrative Officer, NGMA Bengaluru. I also extend my thanks to Mr. Sudhakar Rao, Chairman, Advisory Committee, NGMA Bengaluru, Dr. Sharda Srinivasan, Professor, School of Humanities, National Institute of Advanced Studies, ISC Bangalore, and also to Dr. Geeta Srinivasan for their enormous cooperation in the organization of this exhibition. Last but not the least, I'd like to thank Mr. Benoy K. Behl, the photographer of the exhibition, who is not here today. We would also like to acknowledge Japanese Foundation, New Delhi, and Minister of Culture, Government of India for making this exhibition possible, and finally my colleagues and staff members at NGMA Bengaluru for their support. Thank you all. Now we have a formal opening and viewing of the exhibition followed by high tea at the cafeteria. I request all to be present at the cafeteria after the viewing of the exhibition for the high tea. Thank you all.